Hello and welcome to John's Author Diary for the weekend in July the 15th, 2018. I've had a crazy week. I've been so busy getting everything together for the launch of the Stop Booking Around non-fiction book, as well as preparing to release a brand new podcast on Monday and a collection of short stories that go with that. So in terms of writing, I've written 3 scenes this week towards a high priestess, and the rest of the time I've just been spent getting stuff ready. So on Monday I'm going to be launching a new podcast called Otaku on Writing. So this is where 3 authors, including myself, will dissect classic anime films and use them to inspire original fiction. So we're going to release the first 3 episodes of that on Monday, and then the 4th episode on Thursday, and then it'll go every Thursday after that. In line with the episodes, we're also producing a series of short stories. So every 3 weeks we'll have a new short story collection coming out with 3 stories inspired by the various animes in question. So because it's the 30th anniversary on the 16th of Akira, which for a lot of people was one of the first anime films that they really watched. So in order to celebrate this, we're releasing the episodes to coincide with that. Now the show is a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed doing the episodes so far, and it's been good to have that ability to brainstorm in a collaborative way and then to produce original fiction alongside it. So that's all ready. I've just got the last few things to do with that, such as formatting the ebooks and that kind of thing. The other thing I've done is release the Stop Booking Around non-fiction book. So that went out in paperback and ebook. And I've submitted the audiobook. Now, I feel a bit of a rant coming on here because I'm absolutely sick to death of this audiobook. It's been returned 3 times by ACX, which is the thing that you use to upload things to Audible. And each time they've had corrections to make. Now, the first time was about the format. So I followed the instructions and it was meant to be MP3 at 192 kilobits a second. That was right. It was meant to be 44.1000 hertz and mine was 48. So they sent it back to me. So I had to resubmit all of the files individually. Now, you couldn't do this as a batch. They had to be done in turn. And it seemed that if you tried to upload more than 1 or 2 at once, then it would crash and you'd have to start again with the process. So that was really infuriating. And then after submitting it, they returned again and said, oh, you need to add the end to the final file. So even though it had the credits, it had to have the end said by me. So I had to record that and add that to the credits and re-upload that and then resubmit it for approval. And then 24 hours later, they got back to me again and said that the audio peaks at the wrong level. So whereas most audio I've ever done peaks at 0 decibels, which is the standard, they want it at -3. So again, I've had to go through the whole process of batch converting all the files. You know, that doesn't take too long. But then uploading them all individually. And there's 25 chapters in this book. So it easily adds, up to an hour's work just to kind of do these changes. Now, what I would have liked from ACX is if they went, okay, these are the errors. You've got this, this and this to do in one go. That would have been perfect. This process of, here's a thing we've noticed, please correct it, resubmitting it, waiting 24 hours for approval, and then coming back and going, oh, we've noticed a mistake, you need to do this one thing and resubmit it, and then you do the one thing and then you've got to resubmit it again and go through the same process. It's ridiculous. So I think I've wasted several hours this week just kind of doing that and resubmitting it. So yeah, a bit annoyed about that. But, whatever. So with my mini rant over, I did finish Brandon Sanderson's Oathbringer. That was great, I really enjoyed it. I had a look at the release dates of these books in this series, so I noticed that the first book was released in 2010, and then 2014 and 2018, and this is meant to be a 10-book series. So this is going to take a while to get through, I think. I've also started reading a non-fiction book. This is called Consider the Fork by B. Wilson. This is great. This is a history of kitchens and cooking implements. And I know that sounds probably like a bit of a strange history to look at, but it's one of those things, again, that I think is going to really help me with my fantasy world and just thinking about what informs cooking and how different countries cook in different ways based on their historical resources and things like that. Stuff that maybe I hadn't considered before. So I would highly recommend reading that, especially if you are creating fantasy worlds and that kind of thing. You can check out the Stop Booking Around book, How to Overcome Author Procrastination. This is aimed at people who are struggling to write their first book. Maybe they've had several full starts. It will give you all the tools to help you complete your first novel. So there's a lot of stuff in there about author mindset and motivation, about writing myths, and then it also goes through the process of learning about story structure and writing and outlining and all those kind of things that people don't necessarily consider when they sit down for the first time and think, right, I'm going to write a novel. So hopefully next week I'll be a little bit more chilled. I've had a crazy busy week, so I'm feeling a little bit frazzled. But next week I want to write the rest of my first draft of High Priestess, and hopefully won't have to do anything more with Audible uploading. So I've had no questions this week, but if you want to send me a question, tweet me at JLCronshaw, or you can email me. It's john@johncronshaw.com. That's JONCRONSHAW. So until next time, cheerio.